Are you struggling with your editing, getting good clips, or just making your tutorials look nice in general? Well, you're in luck, because in today's tutorial I'll be covering those. Note as a disclaimer, you're gonna need some kind of alternate device, so whether it be a phone, an iPad, a tablet, or simply a PC. Anything that can download the PlayStation app will help you greatly. Now, this video of course is going to be different since I won't really be in Rec Room most of the time, but it will be based around Rec Room. And of course, you can also use some of the knowledge I give you today for other things like Call of Duty Modern Warfare montages, or just other simple tutorials you'd want to make online. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial. Now, if you're like me, you wouldn't really have access to a USB or PC, of course, which makes editing a bit difficult for PsVr users or PlayStation users in general. Now, I don't own a PS5, so I don't know if it's similar or different from the PS4 when it comes to recording and edited software. However, I can tell you from a PS4 perspective how editing and recording is done for me. And of course, it depends on what you want to edit and record for your tutorials and or videos. Let's say you want, I don't know, some custom music in your game, but you don't really have access to, well, a USB or a wire to plug into your PC and connect your PS4 and PC together in order to transfer that data from one to another. Well, one of the things you could do is spawn in one of these music items that you choose from the invention store, as long as it doesn't break code of conduct or gives you a copyright strike. If you're using copyrighted music in this game, one, I don't think that's even allowed in this game, so I would not suggest using copyrighted music. But if you were to, then I would suggest trying to find the song from YouTube or via artist and putting the link in the description below, which I'll tell you how to do a bit later down the road. And if you can't do that, then plain and simple, don't use the music at all. Alright, once you've spawned in your music into your room, the thing you would want to do is first, open your watch, go to your settings, audio, and where it shows music, voices, sound, and ambience, turn this down, voices down, and sound down. So the only thing you'll hear is music. Of course, mine's off right now, but if you were to, use some kind of music in your room, then you'd want to have this up so it'd only be playing the music, and make sure to mute your mic so that your breathing and or background noise doesn't get in the way of music. It's the same thing with quests, so if you're wanting to use some kind of footage but you don't really want to have sound and or ambience and voices of other players, but you just want the music and the gameplay footage so you can blur it later to use as like an intro and or showcase for whatever items you're going for, then of course you'd want to go into your settings and make sure you turn all these down except for music. And also, if you have voices on, you can always just change it to from friends to favorite to party to none. And then once you have that for PlayStation players, if you're playing on VR, you simply click on the left side of your motion controllers where it says select. There, of course, it'll pop up a little recording menu. After that, all you simply have to do is click video clip, in which it will save the clip. If you want to record a longer clip, then what you need to do is go to the share and broadcast setting, in which brings up this menu. What you'll want to do is click the length of video clip, which then will bring up this menu. You'll want to change the duration to whatever you want. Also, make sure some of the audio settings are checked. If not, then it won't pick up your voice in game. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's move on to our editing. So what you'll need first is to navigate your way to the store. Once in the store, go to the top middle and click search. Once you click search, a keyboard will appear. What we'll be looking up today is SHAREfactory. SHAREfactory is an application which grants us PlayStation players the ability to edit and review our footage professionally. Now, once you have the app downloaded, as you can see, we have a variety of things to select, from videos to photos to animating GIFs to socials to importing content. The importing part is why I said earlier the USB and PC thing. However, since we don't have that, I won't be importing anything. Instead, I'll just be using the footage and raw knowledge and skill to edit this video. Alright, so once you've downloaded this thing, you'll notice on the left side we have 5 different features you can do. We have videos, photos, animated GIFs, social, and imported content. Imported content is only useful for if you can port with a USB or PC. In this case, we don't have either of those, so we'll just be focusing on videos for now. So in front of us you can see we have new project, my projects, my last project, my gallery. Now, if I were to go to my last project, it would take me to the last thing I was doing, which was Isle of Lost Skulls in-depth tutorial guide. If I were to go to my projects and click it, it would take me to everything that I've done thus far, from all of the recordings back then up till now. So if you have any like lost footage or you can't find a recording, then you can just go through this and do that. And of course my gallery is just as it seems. It basically just shows you your footage and or pictures that you've made, and it'll usually show you the duration of that footage. Now, when we click on new project, it'll grant us with a theme that we can choose. So like, basically an intro to your tutorial. Now of course in my old videos I used to use these, but depending on the circumstances, you can use these whether you want to or not. So for this thing, I probably won't be using one. So we'll just click one, and once you've clicked on one, you can keep them checkmarked, which will add them to the video, or you can uncheckmark them, which will take them off the video. I will be uncheckmarking these, and now that I have that, it won't let me start a project. As you can see, you have to have one of these checkmarked. So what I will do is we will find the clips that we want to use for this project. So for example, this one, which is the start of the project. So I'll go ahead and add all these to my project. And of course, usually renaming it helps, but you don't have to. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to rename it. So I will rename it to something like tutorial. And now we'll continue, and it'll load up your footage. So what you want to do here is basically just play around with your tools and edit the footage as normal. Of course, this is probably the best program for PlayStation users currently, because it gives us almost everything that we need or want to do to use for editing. So we have time bender, split clips, trim, move, delete, clone, pan, edit music, and over volume. And of course you can add new clips, add screenshots, add track 2, add music, add overlay, add filters, add layout, and add transition. Of course I'm not going to cover everything here, but I'm just giving you the basics. Mess around with the features, try and get used to it. It might take you some time. Of course not everyone is going to be good when they first start editing. It's okay, we all have to start somewhere, so just mess around with the footage, mess around with the editing, get used to it, get used to the program, and eventually over time you'll become better. I will now teach you how to use screenshots in your videos. What you want to do first is go online and find an image, whether from Regnet or online, that you want to use in your videos. Then what you want to do with your phone and or tablet, you want to download the PSN app and send it to either your friend or your alt account. Once you send it to your friend and or alt account, you then want to go from your PlayStation to that message, click on the image, and either click the share button to take a screenshot of it, either on motion controller or regular controller, or hold on the share button to capture the image. Alright guys, as you can see, if I were to click plus and click add clip, as you can see in the bottom left, it says I've reached my maximum amount of clips and that I can add. So, now you might be wondering, well, since we've reached our limit, what exactly would it do here? Because we can't really edit anymore, and of course we have a limited amount of clips and edits. Well, my friend, if you're thinking what to do here, you are overcomplicating the situation, because all you simply have to do is click the share button in which it uploads the clip, and then once done, you start a new project and you continue from that clip. Alright, so as you guys can see, I have finished uploading it, so what you're going to do here is you are going to either press circle or share later. And now what we'll do is we will just back out, save the project, we'll click new project, click one of these, take them off or keep them on if you want. So now we'll go over to our title, which is the tutorial, click it and then press square, and of course you can either rename it or keep it the same, which every time you upload it you're going to have to change the name, so we'll just call this tutorial 2 and then continue. And as you can see, it's a fresh new clip where it keeps our editing, and we can continue working off that. So we can continue adding clips, we can continue adding pictures, we can continue adding pretty much anything, including voiceovers. So that's pretty much how you can overcome the system, or cheat the system as we call it, to add more stuff to your thing. So I want to show you guys how to make thumbnails as the final thing. Video off. So what you guys want to do is choose whether the video or the photo that you want to make your thumbnail. You do whatever, like I did, add text, add filters, add whatever. And what you're going to do is you're going to press the options button, and you'll have these 4 items come up, and what we'll do is we are going to click generate thumbnail. It'll say project thumbnail saved, you click OK, and whenever you go to share this, this will be what the first thing that the player or the viewer will see when looking at your video. Now note, I would suggest doing this whenever you're finished editing your video and you're ready to upload it to YouTube. And then once you're done with it, you don't need it, so just delete it, and yeah, you're good there. So, and that's how to create at least decent to good tutorials for PlayStation players. I'm sorry if this tutorial wasn't as good as quality as some of my other ones, but keep in mind that I did this to the best of my ability to show the PlayStation players out there that don't have access to some of these nice things that other people do, how to make good tutorials, or at least decent ones. If this tutorial helped you, then leave a like and subscribe. It never hurts. You can always unsubscribe later if you don't like my content. Anyway, with that out of the way, I hope this tutorial helped you, and thanks again for tuning in. It's been Kawaii Koniko, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Bye bye! This is a tutorial video on how to make tutorials while editing the tutorial video on how to make tutorials. I just created a tutorial time paradox.